All right, hello everyone. It's mysticjuicer back with some more Yomi action. We're still working our way through the IYL playoffs here. This is semifinals versus Thelo. Starting off, Troc versus BBB. So this is a matchup I was very much expecting. I have a difficult time against Thelo. Thelo is a very, very strong opponent. I have very rarely won matches, let alone sets against Thelo. So going into this, a bit worried, but I have a plan. So I'm picking Troc into BBB. I think this is a fairly even matchup, actually. One of the fairer matchups that Troc has to deal with. And it's a bit of a character difficulty that I have against Thelo in particular, where typically I would, because Thelo plays, a very strong BBB, a very strong Zane, a very strong Troc, I could probably pick Onimaru against him, but he has done an excellent job of handing me my ass in a couple of different encounters that I've had with him with Onimaru. So I opted to go for Troc, which is generally the character that I have the most experience with. I feel he is the strongest character that I have. And the worst thing he can do against me is pick BBB. So I'm not, it's a counter pick that I expect, so I'm not going to be terribly shocked when I encounter it. And it is a matchup that I have played against him before and that I've done okay against him with. So that's basically the selection. So generally, unless he changes the mix somewhat, I would expect that our encounters are going to tend to be Troc versus BBB and for the foreseeable future. Okay, so managed to get in with some kings, or with a king and a throw, and that deals a pretty significant amount of hurt to BBB. If you can avoid going to range against BBB for a little while and get a bunch of damage in, then you can just beat him on hit points. He can put you to range when he's if he puts you to range for the first time when he's very low on health, then you are probably going to be, that is probably a match that you are going to be winning. And this is definitely working out in my favor so far. I am relatively low on hand size, and I'm not really going to care very much for preserving my hand size. I'm just going to go and try to get the damage that I can, so long as my hand supports it. And once my hand no longer supports it, then I'm going to go ahead and block, put myself at range, hopefully get enough blocks to build up a bit of a hand. I will have 2 attached blocks by the time I leave range, almost as a guarantee, unless BBB is being very, very diligent in playing only block throw, block dodge or blodge throw while at range in order to prevent 2 attached blocks, but that's very unlikely to happen. So far so good. We're at 76 hit points, he's at 2, and we haven't gone to range yet. We've got 2 dodges in our hand. So we're going to see if we can end this quickly. He goes for the dodge, trying to make it difficult. Obviously, I have spent a pretty considerable amount of my attack resources, 2 of my aces, 2 queens, and a jack. That is a lot of the kind of good speed attacks that I have. Luckily, he ends up running out of stuff to throw at me. We're going to go ahead and throw him here. He might have the Joker to make this safe. He does not. And we take game 1 in pretty commanding fashion. So now he's going to have to make an adjustment as to how he thinks I'm going to play based on what I just did. And yeah, I mean, this is really one of those matchups where Troc can often sort of play himself as a character, depending on what your hand is. Nice, we got a nice little cheeky interaction here. Happy to find that that 6 attack coming out turn 1, so we get to hit it with a 4. Generally, I think the one commentary I would give to Thelo in this matchup is that he does not expect Troc normals as often as he probably should. Troc normals in this matchup are actually really good. His 4 attack, 5 attack, and 6 attack. Like his 4 attack clashes with a 4, so you don't go to range, which is a great exchange for you as you have the health total lead. His 6 attack also does the same thing with the 6. And BBB often does want to play 4s and 6s in neutral. He doesn't have a 5 anyway, so your 5 and 6 are basically equivalently good as Troc. So that's the one thing that I think Thelo should adjust his range, at least against me, for, which is to expect normals a bit more often than he maybe does. Okay, going very low hand here. We'll have 5 cards in hand. I will have 7. Not a hand size relationship you will often see. We are at range though, so his hand really doesn't matter at this point. We win with a block, take 13 damage, and we still have essentially no reason. We have 2 dodges that we could spend to try to get out. I'm not going to do that until I have blocked successfully twice, so that we at least have the potential of Beast Unleashed in the late game here. With this health differential and the fact that I have no tools to get out of range, and he's got both a king and a queen, I should expect to take a fair amount of damage, and I will need that burst that comes from having my super throw online. So unfortunate there. Had to make a call on whether he thought I had a queen, thought I had drawn a queen or a jack or a gold burst. I figured, it's fairly obvious the way I've been playing in the opening sequence that I don't have any of those cards. So I'm going to go ahead and gold burst and hope that he goes for a queen king mix up, and then we can get out. We've got two aces. So we have finally 2 of our attached blocks. Unfortunately, we still have no real tools for getting out of here. We're going to have to rely on, at this point, either dodging our way out or going block in order to escape, or punching out a cheeky king throw. But at this point, I think it's in Thelo's best interest to play a blodge queen game rather than really needing to mix in kings all that much. I'm at 33 hit points. He needs to tag me 3 times with a queen, or I guess twice with a queen and once with a king. Basically, yeah. Okay, there we go. Managed to dodge again. Yeah, we can spend this 6. It's not important to us. I want to keep the 5s because I've got, it's an ability to power up. Having spent 2 aces fairly early on is a bit of a bummer. I'm hoping that I can cow him into respecting ace-ace here and maybe find a single ace. Also holding on to the 7 instead of the 6. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Good place to put a jack. He's fairly, at this point, he's fairly, I think, confident or he's established a read and an accurate read on my hand in that I just don't have, queens or jacks to spend. So he can get away with playing his 2.4 speed starter jack. Yeah, big damage here. A very commanding game 2 for him so far. I really need a bit of a miracle to stay in the game. Powers up for a single ace. So I need to either block or dodge, or I need to duff out a throw or counter throw. Okay. Get ace, play ace. Fails him. Puts card face down. Okay, we managed to find a joker. Okay, we luck our way into a second ace. That's very helpful. We still need a third one though, so we can't really spend either of those cards. We have very low odds. We have a 1 in 33 chance of finding the last ace naturally, so we really need to look for pairs. So I want to try to spend as few cards per combat as possible. I also can't go to range though, so that's a difficult situation. I'm hoping I can catch a king throw, and I do not, and that is probably going to be curtains for me. Put the face down just in case. Okay, we don't die yet, but it's very unlikely that we're going to survive. He still has a king in hand, so he's got a king and a mystery card. So if he ever draws a dodge, it's going to be curtains, because I've got to defend myself from king. I've got to play the 2.2 speed side of this jack. I can't afford to armor anything. So that's going to make it that much more difficult for me to get back into the game at all. Okay, could have successfully gotten the extra 3 damage, but it's not a risk that I can take. I can no longer block normals at all because all of BBB's normals deal 2 chip damage. Okay, we finally have our pair. Unfortunately, we're now in a situation where if we hold on to it, if I don't spend this 10 as its ability, I have to dodge with it this turn. And then I have to empty dodge because my only way to win this matchup is going to be to survive. So I actually probably need to block with the 2. Okay, so blocking with the 2 would have killed me. But that is the end of hope for this match. Yeah, and Thelo knows it as well. So he can play basically every normal he can. I need to draw a very, very specific sequence of cards. That's very unfortunate because I don't even get any payoff of that, and that's basically the end of my hope in this second round. So I need to king or 2. Those are my only real options. Okay. King beats king. King of hearts too, which is nice. 14 hit points, so I can successfully throw him to death here. But he also should know that and play accordingly. The only throw he needs to be worried about is a king throw or a normal throw. 3 cards in hand, he might not have anything that beats a king throw. But it actually doesn't need to. Yeah, he can play a 2, a 3, or a 4 in this instance, and he will kill me before the throw does. Wow, okay. That was not expecting this particular outcome here. And we take round 2. I had forgotten how this worked out. That was a very unexpected win. So very, very fortunate for me to see that particular outcome. So we go up 2-0 in a first to 4. So that's very nice for us. Okay, another kind of awkward hand. We can open up with a 6 attack, or we can try to throw an early block. Okay, 6 attack. Again, 6 attack would have been a perfectly fine outcome. We would have dealt a little bit of damage and kept ourselves from going to range. Okay, we pick up a king, so we'll be in relatively good spots. I'm going to be prioritizing blocking with the 6 and the 2. Because the 7s are already a pair, so I want to preserve those as much as possible. Pick up a single ace already, that is great. I'm going to go ahead and keep blocking here, get our first attached block. So the name of the game when we are at range is to try to take as little health damage as we can. So taking 26 off of 2 queens if it gets you 2 attached blocks. Oh, blocking with that 7 is incorrect. Why am I doing that? That is a very strange block. I probably would prioritize blocking with the 2, because again, the 8 is just a lot of damage we can tag onto a normal throw if we ever successfully manage to do that. Yeah, look how terrible my hand would have been. How bad it would have been if I had lost the block there. Would have been really, really unfortunate. Yeah, I think attacking here and taking 21 is not ideal, but attacking here over blocking is probably fine most of the time. Yeah, silent aces seeking their mark. So we're in an unfortunate spot where we have escaped range, but we only have one attached block. So I'm not hugely incentivized to block because it's unlikely that he is going to be. Or if I do successfully block, I'm going to go to range, and then my incentive is going to be to try to get out as quickly as possible. So I'm going to want to, play jokers, play queens, play fast side of jacks, and he's going to know that and going to be able to take advantage of it by playing a few more, playing dodges more aggressively and more successfully against me. Yeah, might as well power up the 7s now, just so I have the aces. This might also prompt him to go for a ace-ace attack. In which case I may be able to get my second attached block. Okay. We eat a jack instead. So could have gotten our... That's 2 turns in a row we could have had an attached block. One of the adjustments I definitely need to make in this matchup, against Thelo in particular, is just being a little bit more greedy with my blocks in neutral. Against a lot of BBBs, the correct play is to play heavily against the normal attacks, just because that's what they are trying to do. They're trying to get you to range first and then kill you. Thelo is much more flexible in his BBB play than any other BBB I've faced. He will play the neutral, like the anti-grappler neutral with BBB, and do just fine. Okay, dodge, dodge. Again, he's playing very intelligently against... he's actually respecting my normal block way more than I am actually likely to play it. We're going to try to go for it here, try to catch another ace. Okay, we block another dodge, that's good. He's mixing in a lot of dodges into his neutral now because I have known ace-ace. Then he's going to pick up single ace there. Now he only needs to get... If he gets me to range, it's probably curtains for me. I need to be very lucky in terms of my gold burst block mix-up on that first turn at range in order to get out. No, there we go. That's probably it. Yeah. That's yeah, Thelo is also he might be actually the progenitor. He's got the copper system going on. He will get ace, play ace a lot of the time, and then like establish that very early in the matchup. Or early in the set, and then really play around with that gameplay later on in the set to very, very good effect. So you have to respect somebody who is going to draw aces and then immediately put them on the table. And there we go, sync 45. He was very much expecting me to immediately go for the dodge, and I did have the dodge, and I was actually just about to say, oh, it's really stupid that I played. That's really stupid that I played Beast Unleashed Raw there. What the hell am I doing? Okay, so we've got a chance of making something happen in this match. We are definitely not out of the woods yet. Powering up the 8s is absolutely fine. The jacks are good on their own. We might want to power them up a little bit later, just in case we get another ace. I would much rather have a 1.0 speed attack than a 2.2 speed attack. He's definitely got to respect ace-ace. Or he's got to choose when to disrespect it. Nice throw on his part. See if we can get some cards out of his hand. Okay, nice not to take 11. Had a chance to take game 3 there. That's one missed opportunity. No more dodges, but we've only spent 2. It's possible we still have some from his point of view. Got to think about whether we're throwing or ace-acing him. I don't understand the block. I don't believe that he has powered up for aces again. I should be checking his discard to know exactly how many aces are potentially in play. But I don't think ace is actually on the board. I think that was more a block against potential dodge. But I have no way of killing him off of a throw, and he knows that. So good block on his part. Playing a very cagey endgame here. And I'm just too nervous to throw the ace-ace, which he recognizes and goes in for the kill. He needs very little to be able to kill here. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so had an opportunity to take game 3. Thelo denies the comeback with some clutch late game throws. Get rewarded with a pack, so it stings a little bit less. Still up a game. See if we can make some adjustments. So I need to be... Yeah, I actually agree with Thelo a lot. Like if all of Trock's matchups were like this, he would be an absolutely fair character. Yep. Okay, game 4. Still not starting off with much in our hand. We've got 3 3s, which is okay. Gonna open up with a normal here. The thing I want to worry about... Yeah. Thelo, not impressed with my with my opening normals. Opening 4 attack is perfectly legitimate, man. Alright. Played slow attack into queen. Yeah, I forgot that last game I had played clumsy 4 into fast attack. I think that's legit. I think it's totally legit. Okay, so now the question is, so I've played 4, I've revealed that I had a queen. Maybe I just drew the queen. Do I play another queen since I have it? Once I play that other queen, he's going to be more likely to probably attack or throw, maybe. Until I, Okay. Be able to hit him with the other queen. Now we're dealing with a 12 or a 13 card BBB. That's not ideal, obviously. So we can try to go for some blocks, or we can try to hit him with this 5 into 6, 7. Get a little bit of damage in. Hey, it works. Okay, you win this combat. Yeah, there we go. We've got a lot of 3s. We could power those all up right now and have 4 aces. If we hit with 4 aces, this should make me rethink my strategy. I should power up once. Or yeah, okay, that's fine. Powering up for 2 aces is good. He's just picked up a single ace. I don't want to power up the 4th 3 because I could get myself in a situation where I just no longer draw any blocks for a couple of turns, and then I'm in a really, really tough position. So he's got single ace. I don't know if he's going to go for a cheeky king throw here, or if he's going to try to get a block off. Okay, there we go. Goes for a cheeky 9 throw. We get the counter throw. That's nice for us. Deal a little bit of damage. Got a nice bit of life lead. Gonna go ahead and power up for a second known ace. Now we drew a king, so we've got a decision between king or 3 block. So king loses to ace ace, but we only lose health. We don't take the strategic loss of going to range. And if he tries to do something silly or not play ace ace, then we're gonna deal 15 to him. He's already spent, I think, 2 6s this game. Or he spent at least 1 because we undercut it with a 5. Okay, dodge a 3. He's going to face down. We should probably respect this and hold back. Okay. If we were going to disrespect it that way, we might have wanted to just play the double ace and cash that out. Still know that he's got 2 aces. I want to think about either spending the king or, again, dodging with the 9. But again, here we're in this situation. Like I said, we've spent our 3 as a throw, and now we just don't have any dodges, or we don't have any blocks. Got to rely on dodges. Now, luckily, he is at relatively low health. We only need to hit him with ace ace and something. Okay, powering up dodges is nice in the long term. We've got to survive the short term for that to happen. Okay, go for ace ace. He plays ace ace as well, undercuts mine. That's a very tough combat loss. We do still have the gold burst. That can keep us from going to range. Refuel our damage potential. May want to dodge before that. So it's a question of, is he going to go for a throw now? In which case we want to spend the joker. Or is he going to try to poke us because we've got a low hand size and we probably don't have anything to defend ourselves, in which case we want to dodge. Okay, go for the dodge, and neither of those plays was actually correct. Thelo playing a very smart and conservative block. He doesn't actually risk dying on that turn at all. The most he's going to get thrown for is 16, still leaves him above 10. Still relatively safe. And he's got me in a position where I'm at relatively low hand. I've got relatively few resources. So he's probably expecting me to panic and playing for me. He's allowing me the space to make mistakes that are going to let him close this out in a very safe way. And that's exactly that. So blocks twice in a row. Gets rid of a dodge and a gold burst. Immediately powers up a whole bunch more stuff for some aces. And has me in a really, really tricky position here. So now it's up to him to make a play happen. He's got the pressure. He's got the resources. And I have to contend with that. I need to make room for myself to be able to get back into this game. So I can either try to dodge and try to close things out or get a little bit more damage in right now, or I can shift to a block throw range. take the penalty of going to range. Yeah, there we go. So it was going to happen anyway. Found a king, so he's got another way of cutting off a strategic avenue of me getting back into this game, which is reducing my ability to block. We've got 3 odd blocks in the discard. I actually don't have any odd blocks in hand, so I can only hope that he doesn't have a 3, and then I'll be able to successfully block with this 6. I can play a cheeky king throw here. Nope, just goes for the standard queen, expecting that, 5-card hand. You haven't spent any queens lately. So you probably would have if you had them, so you probably don't actually have the tools to get out of range. And that remains true here. I should probably block. I can take 2 blocks here, try to get some more cards, and then try to get out. Yeah. So playing the jack would get me out now, and you might think, oh, okay, well, it gets you out. You only take 13 damage. But then what do I have left in my hand? I have 2 2s, a 5, an 8, a dodge, and a single ace. So I don't have an effective hand to be able to fight in close. So there's actually no point to me trying to escape range right now. I should be playing not to die as much as possible, so that the longer the game goes, the more potential I have of combats going my way and being able to make some sort of comeback. Spend the dodge here. It's unfortunate, but I want to hold on to the jack. I want to spend that there. Would rather spend it in close. I now have 19 damage off of queen and jack. The only issue is I have no way to signal to him that I have those cards, so he has no real reason to respect them. So this throw is very unlikely to work. Yep, just plays ace-ace, which would have beaten all of that anyway. Needed to be patient enough to be willing to block there. So Thelo really, like, the thing that sets Thelo's play apart in this matchup is he has, as far as I know, or as far as I've experienced, the best sense of timing of when the Troc player wants to prevent himself from going to range, and when the Troc player is willing to go to range and play a block. I think his sense of which of those game states his opponent is in is the strongest of the BB players that I've played. Yeah, at this point, actually, the first time I took a loss, I had an opportunity to switch to a more favorable matchup. But that comes back to that point that I made at the beginning of this video, which is that I don't really have a character that I feel comfortable playing against Thelo. So, I'm not all that confident in my Onimaru against Thelo as BBB, and I'm not all that confident in my Onimaru's performance against his Zane, to be quite frank. So rather than take that risk of playing Oni versus Zane and losing a bunch, I would rather go for the guaranteed harder matchup of Troc versus BBB almost all the time. Okay, so very early range. We did manage a bit of damage though. Yeah, rotating the aces so that I know that they are all hidden. Okay, we get tossed. But king throw only deals 8, so there's a considerable amount of work that he would need to do. Even if he just assumed that I was going to block a bunch in a row and king through a bunch in a row. Hey, we get the hard read on the 3. Managed to not get exploded. Yeah, the just frame block. Got our first attached. We can hang on to those 2s, so we're going to prefer to block with the 7. Okay, never mind. Suppose I only need 2 of those, to be quite honest. Okay, so the decision is, does he have a even or odd, or is he going to go for something else? Okay, he goes for another throw. Tag him with the jack, get out of range. But again, we're in this weird position. I would almost have rather been thrown there and played the range game a little longer. Okay, get out of range, immediately get hit with ace-ace. Not a great look. Yeah, quad aces, unexpected. Yeah, hit me with the het greetings. Immediately powers up 4 9s. Wow. What a goon. What a monster. Yeah, that did hit for a considerable amount. 35 hit points doesn't seem like a lot, but did quite a bit of damage combined with those early kings. So is he going to Gappa or is he going to throw us is the question. We've got a block or counter throw. Okay. Block one of them. Finally got Beast Unleashed online. No dodges though. 4th ace appears. Immediately commit to Beast Unleashed. Again, I have a long history of immediately dodging. Playing the safe stuff first. Yeah, he was unwilling to get hit by Raw Beast Unleashed. Raw Beast Unleashed twice in one set, it seems. I think that wasn't a bad call on either of our parts. I'm actually a little surprised that Thelo wasn't stubborn enough to just play the throw there. It's like, okay, you hit me with Raw Beast Unleashed, you're definitely not going to do that again. You're going to dodge this time, and then wham. Instead, we're going to get hit with 3 singleton aces in a row. Putting us down to 12 hit points. Picks up another ace. Gonna go ahead and go for the obvious ace-ace play. Perhaps expecting that he would try to go for a cheeky throw. Or expecting that he would expect us to go for a cheeky throw with the single ace power-up. Playing ace-ace, to me, is a tell that I don't have any queens or jacks. So I'm hoping that this gold burst is pretty effective as a result. It is. Then we've got another 2 pairs that we can potentially spend here. So do we go singleton ace? Do we go for a throw? He goes for the dodge. And having spent the gold burst, it's very unlikely that I would have another joker. And he goes for the queen to take the 5th game of the set. Going up to set point. I've got to win 2 in a row. He's got to win 1. Yeah, that's not a hand you can really prepare yourself for. Yeah. And yeah, if you've got a hand like that, why not commit as hard as possible? There's no way your opponent is going to expect you to have 4 silent aces turn, what, like 4 or 5? Which is, it's actually funny that game, so he drew nearly all of his aces in the first little bit of the set, and I also had 4 aces like almost immediately, which is crazy. So I have never played first turn king against Thelo in our set. Sort of crazy opening. Let me try this time. Okay. So I'm actually very glad that worked. I don't know what he's talking about. I'm playing totally. It's so not crazy. It got me off guard. Yeah, Thelo having fun. I don't know if I like that. I don't know if I like fun having Thelo. Alright, so I've got nothing in the tank. Let's see what we can get. That's more like it. Alright, so we have effectively established ourselves as a total goon to Thelo. Now, we played a slow attack, therefore we're going to play a fast attack, so I'm playing the king throw instead. We catch this 3, deal another bit of damage here. If you must. You know, 2 kings very early, though. Doesn't mean that we're going to have... we may have some difficulties in the late game, because we're going to need to normal throw. Thelo has shown that he is willing to play a slow roll type of game where he's willing to block in the late game so long as we don't have attached, 2 attached cards and don't have that potential immediate unjokerable burst damage. But we're doing pretty good. We've got 30 damage on him. See if we can catch him with a... Nice. Undercut a big normal. Not exactly sure what that 6 was trying to find, but very glad that it caught my 5. On the player cam, I just gave it, like, as soon as he said it, I was like... I don't understand. I actually really kind of don't understand why he feels that this is such an atypical kind of play. To me, it seems very sensical. Obviously, it has its risks, but I feel like you've got to take some risks in this matchup, or it's just you're just never going to win. If you only play your face cards, then BBB only really needs to care about 4 throws, and as soon as those are gone, then he only has to worry about your triple ace, and that's not something you can afford to do. So that's unfortunate. We do lose double A fairly quickly. We've got 3 2s though, and 2 dodges and a jack here, so we don't need to go to range. We don't... Yeah, actually playing the slow side of jack, I think, is the right call here. It opens up a possibility where we can power up 2s, get ace-ace, and then we have to deal 20, and we have 20. So it's unfortunate that I lose this combat, but it actually doesn't matter as much to me to have won that with the fast side of jack. We take a bit of damage, but we're still doing relatively well. We can power up these 2s. We've got 20 damage on deck, and then we have 2 dodges, which we can hopefully convert into a lethal play. Okay, we only have the ace-aces, and we have very slow throws off the 9s. So I'm really hoping this pays off, and I don't look like an idiot. Luckily, it does. We get to now that was goonish. That was definitely a goonish play there. Going to try to find some additional damage because I want to put him below 20. Fortunately, don't manage to do that. We give him a few extra cards here. He's going to immediately power up again. Okay, we don't need to count the aces. We know he has two. Here's where we potentially get king thrown and into a lot of trouble. Okay, luckily we do not. Yeah, just taking the knockdown here is fine. We know he has 2 known aces and 4 mystery cards. We're in pretty good position here. We can either just play ace-ace, or we can go for the dodge here. Dodge also makes a lot of sense. Smart blocking on his part. Unless we threw with that 9, we had no way of making anything happen here. We do have an opportunity to king throw here for lethal. We go ahead and take it and manage to move ourselves to match point as well. So it comes down to the final game in a pretty tense set. Yeah, lots of cool plays in this set so far. Really, again, it is absolutely nerve-wracking. I am not enjoying rewatching it. I can feel the tension in my own play. Yeah, we get hit with the singleton ace, the classic Thelo opener. I think that is the thing that makes him the most dangerous BBB. Plays against chalk. He is very willing to play singleton ace in the opening. And it's a very, very effective play in the opening. Okay, poke out a king with our queen. And we are back in a spot where we really don't have anything. But I'm hoping that the early king throw there indicates that he doesn't really have anything either. Because why would you king throw if you had like a normal that you could potentially play there instead? Never stop, never stopping, apparently. So we don't pay for that with much. Because we don't go to range, so we continue to be the cyclist stuck and throw. Well, it is the truth. Okay, it cashes out a lot of damage, and he did have a 3, so he must not have had the 3 when he played that earlier king. Okay, go for the slow jack again. Get dodged. He's going very low on cards. Okay, hits us for 10. Very even life totals. He's stuck on a very low hand size. Thing I most want to avoid is going to range and letting him just build up a hand by playing a bunch of normals. On the other hand, this could be a very good opportunity to go to range. If he doesn't have a queen in hand, it's going to make him very difficult to convert that range experience to actual damage. Okay, it plays out another king, so it's very unlikely he's going to have the king side of the mix-up at range, which is good for us as well. We take the least amount of damage there. Pick up a queen, so we've got a neutral tool once we get out of this. Try not to get take too much hurt here. We're at 43, that's a fairly respectable amount. He does not have a queen, that's very important to us, that's very good. Get the first attached block. Pick up another dodge. A little dodge saturated here, which is not ideal. Block with the other 6 here. Okay, found the queen. We've got our attached 2 blocks. Luckily, for the amount of dodges that we have, they're actually a fairly good card in this situation because he's already spent 2 kings. He's got a very low hand size. He's shown us he's got a jack and a queen, so it's unlikely that he has a king as well. Because he's got 3 possible spots for it, and he's already spent 2. So yeah, the odds are very, very low that he's got the third or fourth king in hand. Gone dodge dodge. Go dodge dodge again. It's not ideal, but again, we still have 2 in hand. We only really need 1 or 2 of them. Are on fairly low hit points, though. So things are going to start getting very dicey. We can't really afford to take another queen. We started to block. We're too worried about the queen to do anything. Okay, poke out the queen. We escape. We don't have enough to power up for aces. We could power up once, but that's going to change his valuation, and I don't know in what direction. Now we have the potential to get 2 aces. I'm going to go for an immediate block here, which I'm a little surprised about. Because he can't. There is an avenue of victory for him if he just attacks us with a normal. If he puts us to range one more time, it's very unlikely we get out again. I'm hoping he spends a jack or that queen. Taking a lot of time to think about what I've got in my hand. Okay, block, block. That is very good for me. I've got a decision about whether I want to power up those 10s. Unlikely. I think I'm going to hold on to them. They're more valuable. I've already spent 2 dodges. I'm at low health. If I had higher health, I might consider it because I might get to a place in the game state where I could potentially get dodges again. Question really is, does he have another king? So I'm betting against him having another king. I am correct. Immediate face down. Okay, give up some free damage there. Good play on his part. We had the potential to bait a joker there as well, which would have been really helpful. Now he knows for a fact that we have Beast Unleashed in hand. Okay, dodge ace ace. Gonna face down again for sure. We just go in. I can't afford to risk him getting away with a bluff. Okay, thankfully it is not a bluff. He is at 10 hit points. Still having dodges. Yeah, that's kind of the nice thing of having some dodges, like having a lot of dodges in hand and then being able to spend a few of them in the mid game. That is going to make it that much more difficult. Okay, so I powered up 6s there. Which is too bad because it's the best normal I had. Okay, we pick up a 4, that's fine. I'm powering up for a single ace just so he thinks that I've got the 4th one. It's unlikely to work because, again, I powered up for all of the aces in my hand and then powered up for an additional one just before hitting him with Beast Unleashed. Go for the 4 to try to undercut. He hits me with the 10. This is potentially lethal. I should be bluffing with the 7. Huge mistake here, bluffing with the 2. But thankfully, not as huge a mistake as what Thelo is about to do. which is miss lethal by not playing his last card. So we're at 2. We have no throw though. And we don't pick up another throw. So here we have an opportunity to kill off of a 2 throw, but we don't have a throw in hand. Like, really, really awkward spot. I need 1 turn to be able to block with this 7. If he has any normal, I die. And the only thing he loses to is a slow jack. So really, he can play. If he has a 2, he wins. He auto wins this match. Okay, it goes for the block. Luckily, this gives me breathing room to be able to power up. Now, he knows for a fact, if he's been tracking my hand, he knows for a fact, he knows everything I have in my hand. So I have to count on the fact that I'm going to... Yeah, okay, so he actually thought I had the other ace, which is very good for me. Okay, so he knows I have mystery card, ace, ace, and 7. I've got to be really... I should be tracking his dodges, but, you know, what is there, right? The bravest block alive. Now I have no pressure off of my aces. Yeah, here we go. So why the power up there? If I drew a throw, it's lethal. If I draw an ace, I want to be able to play it, basically. So it looks really, really weird, but the 7s aren't doing anything for me anyway. And deck delivers with a king. Top deck Troc, most powerful Troc. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so definitely stole that set. Thelo had the lethal, which I'm sure is going to haunt him for some amount of time. Yeah, I mean, I made a mistake. He just happened to make a bigger mistake and cost him the set. Yeah, I don't. I didn't deserve that, but I'll take it. Mystic Juicer 2017. All right, so thank you all for watching. So that was semifinals. I go on to face Sharp Object in the grand finals of IYL 5. I will bring you that match just as soon as I can. Until that time, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the very good set up until the absolute mad scramble that we both got ourselves into in the last part of that. Yeah. Enjoy yourself some Yomi.